I honestly feel like it's a bit of a hot topic, but a lot of people kind of question if Goku is really a hero. Let me say this from my opinion and my experience, especially with Goku, he is a hero, and there is no way around it. He definitely is a hero. Now, is he a traditional hero or kind of a normal like hero? I don't think so. Like, not even close. Does Goku do good things? Is he morally correct? Is he pure-hearted? Yes, he is. That is what Goku is. But Goku isn't your run-of-the-mill traditional hero. Not everything is so cookie cutter with someone like Goku because, well, the main reason why is that Saiyan heritage. The Saiyan blood that runs through his veins. Goku is a lot different than your run-of-the-mill hero because of where he comes from a warrior race that is bred to fight. That is what Goku is made from, and even though he does get the head bump and it makes him very pure of heart and very relaxed and not as rambunctious, it doesn't mean that Goku isn't dealing with some Saiyan side effects. Now, for starters, I want to talk about this. I always saw Goku, especially in Dragon Ball, less of a hero and more of an adventurer. Yes, an adventurer. Someone that is seeking out fights, someone that is seeking out adventure, someone that is seeking out training, learning, and more experiences. Does he take down the entirety of the Red Ribbon Army? Yes. Is that a morally good thing and also superhero-like thing to do? Of course, 100%. We've seen Goku on multiple occasions do very, very good things on purpose and because he is morally aligned with those good things. Not even just the Red Ribbon Army, he has done good things throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball and continues to do those. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, Goku still seeks out a thrill for fighting. He still seeks out a thrill for competition. And he still seeks out this want to experience. That is what Goku is, and that does make him a less traditional hero. He wants to seek out these adventures, seek out these possible villains and problems that could come out of nowhere, right? This is the type of stuff that Goku does, and I want to make it very clear that just because I call him, or I basically say that he's far from a traditional hero, doesn't make it that he's not a good person at all. He just doesn't follow a line of duty that a lot of other heroes do. He has his morals and morality in general, but he doesn't follow this line of duty that a lot of others do. What he normally does, though, is he loves the fighting for passion. He loves to fight for passion, not duty. Now, there is times, don't get me wrong, that he does fight for duty, does fight because he's threatened or has to do something that he refuses to do. For example, when he's dealing with Raditz. Raditz tells him that he has to kill a certain amount of people or he's going to basically just pop the planet. That he's going to do it himself and be done with it. But Goku is thinking to himself that he's not going to allow this man to do this. He's not going to allow Raditz to hurt innocent people. That's where it makes him extremely good. But at the same time, we know Goku has sought after these type of fights, has loved these type of fights, really enjoyed fights very specifically like this. And really the only reason, in my opinion, that he actually decided to allow Piccolo to help him in the Raditz fight was because he had Gohan kidnapped. I truly believe that it was more of the threat of Gohan being kidnapped and less of the idea that Raditz was actually going to kill people. Now, were both of them important to Goku in terms of stopping it? Of course. But in terms of saving his son, I think that was heavily more important than actually the other people being killed by Raditz. Now, there's no flack on Goku for that at all, but I just wanted to make that pretty clear. Now, we do eventually get to see Goku be extremely naive. And that is a big part of his character and a big part of him being a non-traditional hero. Because he is extremely naive. Even more naive than, well, even people like Superman and some of these other heroes who always try to see the good in people and not the bad. Goku does the same, But Goku does it to a totally different level. I mean, he grabs Raditz's tail, shuts him down. It's over. The fight will be over. This is the same guy that threatened your planet and kidnapped your son. But he decided to let go of Raditz's tail because he was naive and he was tricked by Raditz into letting it go. Yeah, tricked him into letting it go. It's kind of stupid, and well, let's be honest, Goku is massively naive, but he does make up for it, right? He literally sacrifices himself. So now, I will say that it would have been nice if he just didn't do that, and then he wouldn't have had to worry about it. But the reality is, he did make up for his mistakes by sacrificing himself, and he decided to hold on to Raditz while a special beam cannon comes sending through both of their chests. But at the end of the day, this shows why Goku is far from your traditional hero. I mean, he is naive to the point where he sees the good in people, but to a larger extent than you could possibly imagine. Now, let's go off until, obviously, he comes back for the Saiyan Saga with Vegeta and Raditz. Or Vegeta and Nappa, excuse me. My bad. Vegeta and Nappa. So, we have him go against Vegeta and Nappa. How does he approach this initially? Well, initially, he does tell Vegeta and Nappa to leave, which is a big thing from Goku. Because Goku obviously loves the fight. But guess what? We all know that Vegeta and Nappa were not going to leave. We all knew the reasons why they were here, so there was no way they were going to leave, and also Goku probably knew that to a large extent too. But don't get it twisted, Goku really wanted to enjoy this fight with Vegeta, and he even says this at the very end of it all, that he wanted to allow Vegeta to leave, and that he would beat him next time. We know that that is the Saiyan nature that is pumping through the blood of Goku, the Saiyan nature that is pumping through his veins, because he wants to fight Vegeta once again. He wants to challenge himself once again. And that is where the adventurer side of him really shines. And I'm not going to say that I hate it. I'm not going to say that I hate that version of him, because I don't. I think it's really cool. I think that part of his character is really awesome to see, because it is a naive aspect of him. Is it also part of him thinking that maybe, just maybe, he could be a better person? Sure, maybe it is. But he also saw Vegeta straight up kill his own partner right in front of everybody. Just destroyed him. Just done. Instantly. No heart, no morale, nothing. So let's be honest, I don't think Goku was really thinking, oh, this guy could end up being a friend. I think he was more thinking that he really wanted to fight him once again, and ending his life right here and right now would obviously devoid him of that eventual challenge. Now, I will say we can then go on and talk about Frieza, which the Frieza fight and all of that is very interesting and a very interesting thing to think about. But the most thing that you want to think about is the naivety, or the Goku being naive, or is it naivete? Something like that. But Goku being naive by literally giving Frieza a chance to leave, giving him power, a share of his Super Saiyan power, trying to save Frieza. Yeah, and Frieza, guess what? Decides to shoot right back at him, and obviously Goku defeats him and basically destroys him, which we end up learning that he lives, but that's kind of beyond the point. But we do know that that's what happens. Goku is naive, very naive, and he continues to be this naive as he goes on. But what's worse than being naive for Goku? It's being a bad father. Now, wait a minute. Before you throw your pitchforks at me and you try to hurt me, man, chill out, okay? I don't mean that he's like a terrible father, but there are aspects of his understanding of fatherhood that aren't really the best. And that's the truth behind it. We can look at the Senzu Bean throw. Oh, give Cell a Senzu Bean, blah, blah, blah. And the reasoning behind that was mostly because he didn't want Cell to get or have a feeling of urgency to try and blow himself up or try to kill Gohan, because he felt like, oh, I'm already too weak, and he felt that he didn't want Cell to panic and just let loose. And I get that. I understand that. But it's less of the Senzu Bean, but I want to say the Senzu Bean is very stupid too, because you are sending your son out there who you believe is stronger than you, which we end up knowing he is, but you believe that Gohan is stronger than you, but you send him out there with a fully powered up Cell once again. Why not leave Cell as it is? Why not send Gohan out there where he is and give Gohan that confidence to actually beat Cell, and the feeling that, well, he's already wear down a little bit, he's already, slightly weakened. maybe I can take him down. And as he kind of builds that confidence throughout the fight, maybe he begins to reveal the powers that were laying dormant even more. And I honestly think that could have genuinely happened. Now, that's obviously a opinion on something that didn't happen, but I honestly think a slightly weaker Cell, who was, a little bit more tired. He wasn't like that much weaker, by the way, because Goku wasn't stronger than Cell. They went blow for blow for a while, but Cell was holding back, but it still weakened his stamina and his stuff like that. So if Gohan started getting the upper hand on Cell, like slowly and a little bit, it might have drastically ramped up his confidence to the point that he started unleashing even more power, and we might have seen a different type of fight. But the real thing I want to talk about is not actually the senzu bean throw. It's actually Goku's misunderstanding of what his son is, what his son enjoys. His son's not a fighter, and he could have blatantly seen that off the bat. Goku, for real, needed to know that Gohan was not a fighter. If they had that conversation before in the time chamber or anything, and you could tell pretty much from the get-go that Gohan was more of a study bug, that Gohan wanted to live a normal life. He was still half human for all good sake, and Goku didn't understand it. Somehow didn't understand it until the very end, until he had to literally sacrifice himself, which, by the way, still a hero, had to sacrifice himself because his son, for one, isn't your traditional fighter, because he's basically forced himself into this position. But imagine if Goku decided, hey, I'm going to talk to my son in the time chamber. We're going to have a chat, and we're going to have a chat about fighting. And I'm going to tell him, hey, look, I want to know, how do you enjoy fighting? Do you get the thrill that I do when I go and fight a strong opponent? If you don't, that's fine. But I want you to understand that this fighting, what you're doing and what we're doing, isn't for the thrill of it. Isn't because we love it. I may love it, but it doesn't mean you have to love it. And this thrill or this fight that we're going to have is for the sake of everybody. For your mom, for for us, for your friends, for your mentors, and so on and so forth, for the entirety of Earth. That's what this is for. And if Gohan understood that, he might have even been able to kind of settle with the idea of what the plan truly was, and maybe even push himself harder to unlock the power that he needed to save everybody. Because that right there, I truly believe, is what Gohan needed. And that right there is what would have allowed him to edge the competition and go over that hump initially without having to have drastic measures occur. And also, I don't think Gohan would have this kind of crazy arrogance about him when he transforms. I truly believe that's how it would have ended up happening. And Goku kind of shows that, or his kind of naive nature there, especially when dealing with the idea that he is a Saiyan with a mindset completely different than another human. So that's a big reason why I always talk about him not being a traditional hero, because he is extremely naive with his Saiyan nature, believing that everyone around him loves the thrill of the fight or is okay with fighting, that they all like fighting or kind of enjoy it. Gohan did not like fighting at all. And eventually in way later in Dragon Ball Super, we learn that Gohan only maintains or kind of retains his power because he knows that he needs to do it for the sake of his family and the sake of Earth. That's different. That's far different than Goku striving for greater power because he wants to. Gohan doesn't want to fight, and that is the facts of it. And that kind of shows another reason why Goku's really Saiyan nature makes him far from a traditional hero. But as I said before, he does sacrifice himself, teleports Cell away as he's exploding, and he saves everybody. Well, sort of, because Cell does come back. And Cell does absolutely go haywire on them. Now, another thing I would love to talk about is the Buu Saga. Now, the Buu Saga is a fun thing because we don't have a Goku for a while. Because for a long while, Goku is gone. Why is he gone? Well, it's an interesting thing. Because Goku believes that everybody, or all the villains, are coming here because of him. So threats are coming because of him, which is understandable. Threats do come because of Goku. And that is definitely true. But who are you leaving this to? Who are you leaving a potential threat that is coming to? To Gohan? The person that doesn't like fighting? To Piccolo? Who's far, far, far weaker than you? Vegeta? Who is, well, we end up even seeing Go Majin and really had a hard time dealing with himself when Goku left, when Goku decided to stay dead. There's a lot of things that left up in the air, and another reason why I believe, well, Goku is not your traditional hero, because he decided that he would leave. That yes, in theory, it would protect people, but the people that you're trying to protect, they weren't ready for you to go yet. They weren't ready, and it was obvious. Even when Goku comes back and decides to not defeat Boo with Super Saiyan 3 and wants to give Goten and Trunks, aka Gotenks eventually, some time to basically defeat him on his own, well, Goku made this decision and didn't even really think about the idea that these kids weren't prepped in this. These kids were not prepped and prepared to be this fighter, this savior. We're leaving it to people that are far younger than Gohan right now, and around probably the same age that Gohan was when it was around Cell. Why are we leaving it, or younger? I'm not 100% sure on that, but we're leaving it to them. Why? Why are we leaving it to them? Especially when they're not prepared. And that's the number one thing that Goku doesn't understand, is that just because you leave and everything that all these people are coming to basically kill you, just because you invite all of these people and all of these fighters with your presence of you being there initially, doesn't mean that it's basically time for you to up and go right now. Because even Majin Buu ends up showing up, and the whole Majin saga and the whole Majin Buu saga isn't necessarily there because of Goku. That's the thing. And yes, Goku can't predict this. Don't get me wrong. Goku definitely cannot predict this. But Goku also didn't prepare Gohan. Didn't prepare, well, an eventual Goten and Trunks. Didn't prepare anybody else to stop an incoming threat. Now, I know in theory, maybe Goku's thinking maybe no threats will come ever again if I leave. But that's very naive, Goku. We saw even in Dragon Ball, the Red Ribbon Army wasn't necessarily there because of you. Now, I do understand that when you defeated them and then later on they came back, it was because of you. But evil does exist. On a planet level, on an outer space level, we saw Frieza himself. Frieza himself came to Earth after you defeated him one time, but Frieza should have also been proof that there are looming threats. There are looming threats that are out of the stratosphere of Earth, and looming threats that could show up on their doorstep one day, just like Majin Buu. Even without Goku there, Babidi was still there to sap the power out of the tournament. Still there to sap the power out of fighters that were ill-prepared, like Gohan, like your Goten and Trunks, all of them very, very ill-prepared. And Goku decided to let them handle it basically on their own. Now, Goku would eventually come back to life, and we understand that. And I don't even really want to talk about Dragon Ball Super Goku, because Dragon Ball Super Goku makes some very, very dumb mistakes. Very dumb mistakes. And I know a lot of people, they're like, well, you know, the Tournament of Power didn't happen because of Goku. And hey, man, I get it. 100% I get it. I 100% get it. But there's a lot of other things that Goku does throughout Super that were extremely questionable and massively naive once again. Even more naive than your normal Goku. Like, it's wild. I mean, Goku talks about how initially that he wants to leave because of threats coming to Earth and stuff like that. But now he's here. Now he's back. And he decides that, you know what? I really want to fight. I want to fight so badly that I'm going to hire Hit to kill me. I'm going to hire Hit, a trained assassin, to kill me. Now, what if you did? What if you did die? And you just left everybody there? Done deal. That's not very good idea, Goku. Especially when you are the hero here, right? And you are here to protect a lot of people. That's definitely wasn't the best decision in the world. And Dragon Ball Super definitely shined a light on this idea of Goku enjoying the fight even more than Z Goku. Like, way more than Z Goku. Making some very questionable decisions, which, by the way, I will stand on this one. Fighting Goku Black and not cranking yourself up to the point where you can defeat him is a wild thing, in my opinion. I know some people will say that, well, if he transformed into a higher form, then Goku Black would have learned and stuff like that. But Goku has always had this problem, easing himself into a fight, enjoying the fight too much. Because Goku Black, well, he was legitimately terrorizing Trunks' timeline, destroying it, ruining it, putting basically Trunks on at a point where it was horrible. Bulma literally died in that timeline, and Goku still decided not to just eliminate him, get rid of him, and be done with it. And that was a very interesting idea, because that would have saved quite a bit of time and also saved quite a bit of resources, you could even say. And they could have handled Zamasu with a Mafuba and been done with it. And it would have been pretty quick and pretty damn clean. But I get it. The show must go on and things must happen. But we all know that Dragon Ball Super Goku is extremely naive, from the Goku Black arc to even the Universe 6 versus Universe 7, where he basically decides that he's going to take off, that he doesn't want to fight Hit no more, and he's going to be quit because he doesn't want to be a pawn in this game. But he knew the stakes. He knew the stakes of this tournament, and, well, anything can happen. And frankly, it was definitely not the craziest and most best decision to do that, even if you want to argue that he thought Monaka was somehow the strongest being, even though he could literally read ki and feel ki and sense ki and so on. But like I said, Dragon Ball Super Goku is very naive, and a very, very naive hero, though, nonetheless. Even though Dragon Ball Super Goku is extremely naive, it literally doesn't matter. It still puts him in the frame of being a hero, and that's what Goku is. He is a hero, just not your traditional one. A hero that loves to adventure, that loves the thrill of the fight, and sometimes gets caught up in some very interesting moments that he creates himself. But that's what makes Goku Goku. Goku is naive, Goku is a fighter, he is entertaining, and he loves to get stronger. Now, if that's for his own motives or to protect people, that's kind of here nor there. But with that said, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about Goku, about Goku's kind of weird in between of being a hero. He is pure-hearted, but is he really the hero that many would expect him to be? And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the video itself. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, check out this other video that YouTube will most likely be recommending, because you'll probably enjoy that as well. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Later.